Hello everybody, my name is Koza. Nice to meet you. This is part of my 365-day daily challenge, speaking English for 30 minutes straight using total set questions. No script, just spontaneous answers, just like the real exam. Let's get started. Okay, let's review the second to last deck. The second to last challenge. From the second to last challenge, let's review the second to last challenge. Let's review the second to last challenge. Two-factor authentication. So there's a problem. So let's review the second to last challenge. Two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication. So at that time, there was a problem with the Microsoft login system. Like I couldn't sign in, even I did try to log in. I already put the password, but it didn't work, and I tried so many times, but I couldn't sign in. And I didn't know how to say two-factor authentication. When I was doing this challenge. Anyway, two-factor authentication. There are two accounts associated with it. So usually only one account associates with one email address, but my account, my company's account, like I have an account for work, my own company, for my own company, but there were two accounts associated with that email address. So I guessed maybe that was the reason behind it. Like, the system understand or the system couldn't recognize which account was trying to log in. So maybe I thought that was a reason why I couldn't sign in. Anyway, so one is for work and the other is personal. So there were two accounts associated with my one email address. one is for work, the other one is personal. So I thought it was confusing, the system. So after that, after this challenge, I deleted my personal account associated with that email. And seems like the problem was solved. You know, this time, today, Microsoft softwares didn't ask me to sign in again. But last night, it actually did. Even I, did sign in 2 days ago. But last night, it asked me to sign in again. But today, I wasn't asked, so I think the problem is solved. I actually went back to my old university. Today was my first day back. So So 2 days ago, that day was my first day back to my university. I dropped out my university. I dropped out of my university halfway through. That was 5 years ago, maybe. But I re-enrolled to graduate from university. Today was my first day. That day was my first day back at university. My first day back at university. Yeah, usually one email address is associated with only one account, but for some reason I have two accounts associated. I have two accounts associated with the same email address. He is the one who is disrupting our teamwork. So confused. I said he is the one who is confusing our teamwork, but ChatGPT told me it was wrong. So the correct one is disrupting. He is the one who is disrupting our teamwork. My electronic devices haven't been working very well. So yeah, the second to last challenge. In the second to last challenge, at the second to last challenge, my whole electronic devices hadn't been working very well, and I was really irritated about that. I couldn't sign in my Microsoft account, and maybe like mouse and a keyboard, they didn't working very well as well. I attended my first class. Anyway, yeah, I attended my first class at university. My first. I went back because I had dropped out before. My first class was my macroeconomics. My first class was macroeconomics. Today's class was just an introduction. So that day's class was just an introduction. The professor explained the history of Waseda University and its connection to macroeconomics. My university's business, actually the founder, the professor said the founder of business program, the founder of my university's business program was established by Tameyuki Amano, who was a pioneer of Keynes economics. Keynesian economics. Keynesian pioneer. The professor said that he was a pioneer of Keynesian economics. So Keynesian economics kind of an idea that saving doesn't always solve economic problems. So Tameyuki Amano, he also argued that saving doesn't always solve economic problems before Keynesian economics. Instead, we needed to spend money to stimulate stimulate the economy. Economics. Keynes is the most famous person who spread the idea to the world. But prior to him, Tameyuki Amano already said the same opinion. He also explained the meaning of the university's name. So the professor also explained the meaning of the university's name, Waseda, which comes from the name of the area where the university is located. Waseda literally refers to rice being planted early. Farmer, peasant, the peasant in Waseda, they planted rice earlier than other regions' people because Waseda's direction is south, so it could easily get the sunlight, and rice could be grown faster than other regions. That's why they, planted rice earlier. That's why they named that region Waseda. Wa means Waseda was used 3 kanji letters. Wa means early, set means rice plant, and field, that means field. Yeah, anyway, Waseda literally refers to rice being planted early people planted rice earlier than usual because typhoon, and also the reason this it had this reason. Typhoon and other natural disasters often happen in summer, so avoid those damages. They planted rice earlier because typhoon and other natural disasters often happened in summer. Yes, we have a specific tracks. And yeah, let's review the last challenge. We have specific tracks to choose from. So if you are in Waseda University's business program, when you become the third grade, or the second grade, I forgot, but anyway, this second or third grade, when you become the second or third grade, you have to choose your tracks. You have to choose your track from tracks related to business, such as accounting, management, statistics, or economics. So I chose the business track back then, before I dropped out of the university, and I didn't know why I chose that track, and I didn't like accounting at that time. So still I don't know why I chose accounting track anyway. Right now, yeah, anyway, so I'm in a business environment that is closely connected to financial industry. You know, I work for my dad's company, and the company is a placement agent for fund managers. So we have to introduce them to Japanese institutions to let them invest in one of our fund managers' portfolios. Anyway, yeah, back to my university. So I'm gonna graduate from university in just this semester. By this semester. We don't use my university doesn't use a 4-quarter system. You just have 2 semesters, the first half and the second half of the academic year. The academic year is divided into 2 halves. So we divide the academic year into 2 semesters. So they divide the academic year into 2 semesters. So this semester I have 2 courses. So this semester I have 2 courses in the accounting track. I have 2 courses in the accounting track, management strategy and company evaluation. So management strategy, as the name suggests, how to learn. No. As the name suggests, I'm gonna learn what makes a company good or better than others. I mean, what makes a company more lucrative than others? What is the difference? In the company evaluation, I learn how to evaluate companies, so I can use that skill when I want to invest in stocks or something like that. In the first class, I learn what makes a company good or better than others. So today I attended the first class of each course. I attended the first class of each course, and it was fun. Anyway, after that I finished what I had to do. So after I took those classes, I finished what I had to do for my own company, which provides IT support services. And I also work for another company which acts as a placement agent for fund managers. The business is basically about connecting the business is basically about connecting fund managers with Japanese institutions. Anyway, the business is closely related to the financial industry, including stocks, foreign exchange, mutual funds, and stock indexes, as well as economics and politics. So what I'm gonna learn is really related to my business, my work. So that's why I was able to get interested in the classes at university. But this is really meaningful situation, and I really back then, when before I dropped out of the university, I didn't know why I had to go to the university, and I didn't have a specific purpose to go to university. But this time, I have a specific reason to go to the university, because I'm really interested in the classes I take, and I intended to go back to university because I want to learn, I want to study those things. So this is really meaningful for me. And anyway, the business is closely related to financial industry, including stocks, as well as economics and politics, because politics really affects. And politics really affects the financial markets. And I'm in an environment that is closely related, that is close to the financial industry. I'm in an environment that is close to financial industry, and I have a lot of opportunities to learn about finance. Back then, before I dropped out, I didn't really like going to university because I didn't have a clear reason for being there, especially since I was paying tuition. Yeah, technically, my parents were paying tuition, but I didn't know why. Like I had to go to university, even I was not interested in. I didn't want to learn with paying tuition, and maybe back then I was kind of going to the usual path for many Japanese students, like going to university going to university is the usual and ideal path, successful path for many Japanese students still now. And I was able to enter an integrated school, which is well known as a good school in Japan. And I was already guaranteed admission to the good university. So I didn't even have to take an entrance. I didn't have to take an entrance exam. I didn't have to take an entrance exam to the university. So I don't think that was not good for me, because I didn't need to study hard, but I needed to study hard to make a living. And right now I realized how important study is. Very important to me. If I needed to take an entrance exam, I realized that importance at that time. Anyway, I was able to enter an integrated school. I was already guaranteed. So I was able to enter an integrated school when I was elementary school. So I was guaranteed admission. To the university. So I didn't even have to take an entrance exam. So I didn't have a specific purpose for going to university. Of course, we don't always need a reason to do something, because we don't have any specific reason for being born into this world. We don't always need a purpose. We don't always need to reason to do something, because we have no reason to being. We don't have any specific reason for being born into this world. And I ended up choosing the academic track almost by accident. It was eventually it was good, and I was happy to do that. Anyway, like that, company acts as a placement agent. Basically, the company connects fund managers with services. The company earns commission fees when they do. Thank you so much.